50 Cent was shot 9 times, his mother murdered, and throughout his early life, he was constantly hunted by rival gangs. Yet he went on to not only become a platinum-selling artist, but also a business mogul worth hundreds of millions of dollars. After years of mystery surrounding him, 50 revealed his secrets to Robert Greene in the book The 50th Law. In this video, we're going to cover 7 harsh truths that you can learn from this book that will get you ahead of 99% of people. Then you'll learn the 2-word motto that 50 lives by that will make you unstoppable. Harsh truth number 1. If you can't be violent, you will be at the mercy of those who can be. The world we live in tries very hard to convince men to repress their violent, competitive instincts. We're encouraged to be soft, compliant, and nice. But this is a denial of our natural instincts, and it makes us helpless in a harsh world. You will always find yourself among the aggressive and the passive-aggressive who seek to harm you in some way. You must get over any general fears you have of confronting people, or you will find it extremely difficult to assert yourself in the face of those who are more cunning and ruthless. Before it's too late, you must master the art of knowing when and how to be bad, using deception, manipulation, and outright force at the appropriate moments. Everyone operates with a flexible morality when it comes to their self-interest. You are simply making this more conscious and effective. Those who are too scared to be bad will be victims to those who are bad. So does this mean that you need to become a bad person? No. There's a way you can learn to behave that will allow you to be a good person without being weak. This way you can harness your competitive, aggressive drives and use them to win and be strong. Here's what you need to do. A couple months ago, I started taking boxing classes. And more important than actually learning the technical skill of boxing, what this has done for me is given me the will to act. For most people who have grown up in polite society, the idea of aggression is very uncomfortable. We fear violence, both inflicting it and having it inflicted upon us. But when you experience getting punched or punching someone, you lose this fear. When I first started sparring, I would feel hesitation to put all my force into it. I was holding back out of fear. Society had taught me that I shouldn't be so openly aggressive. I felt this weird sense of judgment. I was concerned about how other people would view me if I fully embraced my ability to be violent. But at some point in my training, that feeling faded. I found myself able to fully swing and put my all into it, and I stopped flinching when somebody would punch at me. I felt calm while being aggressive. The result of this is that I now move different. I have an understanding within me that if I ever need to be violent, I can be. It gives me this feeling of strength. I don't feel hesitant anymore. What boxing did for me was teach me to integrate my aggressive, violent instincts. We all have these instincts. It's a part of our nature. Integrating them into your personality instead of repressing them is the key to being strong without being bad. Without doing this, you will feel weak deep down. You can very easily tell if someone's comfortable with aggression or not. People who are constantly seeking approval from the group, or they find comfort in being part of a mob, these are people who are uncomfortable with their own sense of aggression and they're afraid to stand alone. They find strength in the crowd because they don't have it in themselves. And violence in this case can also just be a metaphor. Just like with aggression, competitive instincts are also frowned upon in our society. The idea of wanting to win and defeat others is very demonized. But in every area of your life, the people who are comfortable with this competitive energy are the ones who will get ahead. Understand that every guy wants that pretty girl that you like, and they will say and do whatever they need to get her. They will tear you down if need be, and they won't feel bad about it. Your coworkers want the same promotion that you want. Your fear of fully pursuing what you want will leave you with nothing. Those who are willing to go for it without caring about other people's opinions will always beat you. Learn to embrace your violent, competitive instincts, or you will watch other men get everything you want in life. Harsh truth number 2. The fools in life want things fast and easy. Money, success, attention. Boredom is their great enemy and fear. Whatever they manage to get slips through their hands as fast as it comes in. You, on the other hand, want to outlast your rivals. You are building the foundation for something that can continue to expand. The world is full of get-rich-quick schemes and six-pack abs supplements. The wise know to avoid these these things. They understand that success is a process. You build a foundation of skills, traits, and connections that make greatness inevitable. You move with both patience and urgency towards your goals. Most people cannot handle things like this. They want results now. They can't tolerate the boredom and hard work that greatness requires. And this is why they get mediocre results. Our second harsh truth is that being great is hard. The inability to accept this will keep you switching from one thing to another, looking for the easiest route to success and never achieving anything. Most people can't handle boredom. That means they can't stay on one thing until they get good at it, and they wonder why they're unhappy. The fact that being great is hard is why you need to pursue something meaningful in your life. If you're only doing something for the outcome and you don't actually enjoy doing it, you won't have the staying power to stick with it until you succeed. And what you pursue doesn't have to be confined to your career. For me, what I pursue is the ultimate version of myself. And this is a constant battle. I have a lot of work to do on myself. Developing skills, training my mind and body, becoming wise and knowledgeable, building wealth, and developing relationship skills. But I get out of bed fired up because this mission of personal development is meaningful to me. Stop fooling yourself into thinking that things are going to be quick and easy. Great things rarely come this way, and if they do, you probably won't have developed yourself into the kind of person who can keep them. Instead, embrace the process. Accept that being great is hard and find something worth being great at. Now, the biggest reason that people can't accept how hard it is to be great has to do with harsh truth number 3. Rejection is one of the hardest things for us to deal with in life. We avoid it like the plague. The fear of rejection keeps us in a box. We don't take a chance on ourselves and achieving our goals. And in an attempt to avoid the negative feelings of rejection, people hide themselves in delusions. These delusions can either be delusions of grandeur or delusions of doubt and fear. Someone living in delusions of grandeur has tons of dreams and ambitions, and they usually like to tell other people about all the big things they're gonna do and their big ideas. Yet they never seem to take action. They satisfy their egos by fantasizing about greatness, but they never risk rejection by actually trying. Another form of delusion is thinking that things will just work out and they'll be easy. Someone like this has a vision for a business and they fantasize that it's all going to work out very easy with no obstacles. And this means that when obstacles do arise, because they will, they are mentally weak and unprepared for them. They can't handle them because they've been hiding in fantasies, pretending like difficulties won't come up. On the other side, there are delusions of self-doubt and fear. People avoid looking at uncomfortable truths because they're afraid of what they might mean. A man ignores the signs that his girl is going to leave him or that his job is going to let him go. He is afraid of the truth, and so he convinces himself that everything will work out fine, but deep down he knows this isn't true. And when delusions come crashing down, people tend to blame life and feel like things are unfair, but it's their own fault for avoiding the truth. Harsh truth number 3 is that life doesn't care about your feelings. You'd like things to be easy, safe, and comfortable. You don't want things to change, but life is not this way. Industries change, leaving people without work. Economies collapse, marriages end in divorce, and ignoring your health problems will lead to disease. If you live in delusion, these things will crush you. If you seek the truth, you will be able to see them coming and avoid many of the hardships in life. Think about it this way. If you're too afraid to think of something bad happening, you make it way more likely that that thing will happen in real life. For 50 Cent, he accepted the harsh reality that he was living in, and this allowed him to escape. His parents were gone, he was living in poverty in the ghetto of Queens, New York, but rather than numb himself out with drugs and convince himself that everything would be alright, he confronted reality. This allowed him to find a way out. When you accept life as it is, you gain power over the situation. Reality is my drug. The more I have of it, the more power I get and the higher I feel. Reality is gonna do what it does. It's your choice if you want to sit around wishing things would be different or if you want to roll with it. A great place to start with this is to take a harsh look at your life. Where are you hiding from reality? Are you kidding yourself about your weight? Are you playing the victim because women don't like you rather than accepting the fact that you have not made yourself into the kind of man they would find attractive? Are you living with outdated outdated ideas. The rich get richer, the poor get poorer, and there has never been a time in history when things were more expensive. Do you still think that 9 to 5 making $50,000 a year is enough to take care of you? This harshness leads some people to bitterness. They feel like it's unfair. Others will try to deny it. Then there will be a few who embrace reality and they will gain power from it. Harsh truth number 4, nobody likes a loser. Your opinion of yourself becomes your reality. If you have all these doubts, then no one will believe in you and everything will go wrong. If you think the opposite will happen. It's that simple. We'd like to think that the world will have sympathy on the downtrodden and the weak, but it simply isn't this way. People want to be around other people that they feel like can lift them up, and they will avoid anyone who might drag them down. Playing the part of somebody who's down on their luck and can't catch a break might get you some half-hearted sympathy from people, but for the most part, they're just going to avoid you. No matter your situation in life, you must play the part of someone who is on their way up. You might be flat broke right now and just have gotten dumped by your girlfriend, but you still need to believe in a future where you are the man. Being a winner or loser isn't about material success or possessions, it's a mindset. I've seen this in the gym for years. There's guys who will go work out, they get themselves in fantastic shape, but deep down, they still don't feel like a winner. They feel like the kind of guy who's unattractive, they're constantly judging their body, and so they don't carry themselves like an attractive winner. They carry themselves like somebody who is unattractive, who's a loser. And this ends up being how most people respond to them. Even if somebody might have been interested in them or thought they seemed like somebody who had their crap together, eventually when they meet this person and get to know them a bit more, they find out who the person really thinks they are deep down. Learn to cultivate a winner mindset as a precursor to success. Dress like a winner, talk like a winner, carry yourself like a winner. This will attract people and opportunities to you. But be careful of the opposite. If you carry yourself like a loser who's helpless, people will avoid you and opportunities will be repelled by you. Nobody likes a loser. Harsh truth number 5. Did you know that during COVID, the average person gained 27 pounds? Most people felt overwhelmed by fear. They hid in their houses, eating, watching TV, and becoming weak. Depression cases skyrocketed as 99% of people fell apart. Luckily for me, I didn't do this. One of my proudest accomplishments in life is how I handled COVID. The week before COVID hit the US, I had just started a new job. I was feeling great about it. I'd started talking to this new girl and I was planning to go get a new apartment in downtown. Things were looking up, but unfortunately, the universe had other plans. I remember the Monday of my second week on the job, getting a call from my boss who was telling me that he was shutting down operations until COVID was done and he was letting me go. This situation left me flat broke with no prospects of making money. And to top it off, the girl I had just started talking to decided that I was a lost cause because I was unemployed and she dropped me. At first, I felt overwhelmed. It just didn't seem like life was fair. Why was this happening to me? But I gathered myself. I accepted reality, and rather than living in delusion, I decided I was going to make the most of this situation. I took the time that I now had because I didn't have a job, and I used it to start my YouTube channel, which eventually became a business. My gym was closed, so a friend and I went and got sandbags and those thick black trash bags, and we got some dumbbells, and we went down to a field and we had outdoor workouts. I got in better shape than I had ever been in to that point, despite my gym being closed. I look back on COVID as one of the best times of my life. I turned a negative situation into a positive, all because of how I responded to it. This mindset is also what helped 50 Cent overcome being dropped by Columbia Records just before his first album was going to come out. Things were looking up for 50 at the time. It appeared that he was going to be able to leave the streets behind and he had a promising music career in front of him. But before his album could come out, an assassin from a rival gang shot 50 at close range 9 times, including shooting him in the head. 50 ended up in the hospital nearly dead. That would seem bad enough, but upon leaving the hospital, he found out that Columbia had mothballed his album because of the violence surrounding him. He was now broke and nearly dead, and the people who had tried to kill him would definitely plan on finishing the job. In that moment, instead of giving in to despair, 50 decided he would make this an opportunity. He launched a mixtape campaign that ended up saving his music career, and he ultimately became bigger because because of the assassination attempt on his life. Harsh truth 5 is that bad things happen to us. You must use them to your advantage. Everything negative is a positive. The bad things that happen to me, I somehow make them good. That means you can't do anything to hurt me. Our judgment about events is more harmful than the events. We tell ourselves that the world is ending because things didn't go our way, and because of this, we blind ourselves to the opportunities in adversity. If you want to be great, you need to learn the art of turning obstacles into opportunities. Harsh truth number 6, people will use you if you let them. Most people don't trust themselves. They put their faith in the government, their employer, the people around them, and they hope that someone else has the answers. This puts them in a position of dependency, and that dependency makes them weak. Don't let yourself be dependent on anyone unless it is absolutely necessary. When you work for others, you are at their mercy. They own your work, they own you. Your creative spirit is squashed. What keeps you in such positions is a fear of having to sink or swim on your own. Instead, you should have a greater fear of what will happen if you remain dependent on others for power. I used to have a job where I was an employee. I had a good relationship with the owner of the company, and this gave me the confidence to set boundaries. If I couldn't work late, I would say it. If I needed my schedule to be a certain way, I would let him know. I might have worked there, but internally, I maintained my independence. But for many people in these situations, they feel dependent. They have fear of losing this paycheck, and this allows them to get used. And for the most part, employers aren't trying to use you and put you in a bad spot in life. It's just that your dependency has caused you to not set up boundaries, and so the natural consequence of that is that you will get used. You'll be asked to work extra hours, take more shifts that you don't want, and it'll be thankless. You won't get a promotion or a raise for it because you didn't go out and ask for these things. Feeling dependent will lead to a lack of boundaries, which puts you in a weak position. If you need your girlfriend more than she needs you, you will fear losing her, and you will tolerate behavior that you shouldn't tolerate. You must learn to get everything for yourself. Don't depend on others. Harsh truth number 7, you are going to die. Embracing this leads to a life of freedom. When I nearly died, it made me think this can happen again any second. I better hurry and do what I want. I started to live like I never lived before. When the fear of death is gone, then nothing can bother you and nobody can stop you. The fear of death causes us to live our lives in fear. We act like we have something to lose instead of realizing that everything is temporary. From the moment we are born, we carry our death within ourselves as a continual possibility. If we try to avoid or repress the thought, keep death on the outside, we are cutting ourselves off from life as well. If we are afraid of death, then we are afraid of life. How often do you play it safe? You keep a job you don't like, or you stay in a relationship that isn't serving you because you fear being alone. When you accept the truth that you will die, this attachment begins to fade. And strangely, you start to go all in on life without holding back. I'm certainly not perfect at this, but the more that I have learned to accept that I am going to die and that everything in my life is temporary, the more free I feel. I don't worry as much about what will happen. Instead, I just go all in, stay in the present moment, and pursue my goals. In his experience, whenever he felt as if he had too much to lose and he held on to others or to deals out of fear of the alternative, he ended up losing a lot more. He realized that the key in life is to always be willing to walk away. Embracing that you are going to die and that everything around you is temporary gives you the ability to walk away, and that is the ultimate power. And with this acceptance of death, we can embrace 50's 2-word motto: fear nothing. You have nothing to lose. Go all in. Thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to like the video, and if you want to learn how to reprogram your subconscious mind so that you can create the life that you want for yourself, click on this video right here.